Hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. Well, it seems that Netflix have finally put out a release date for the Heart of Invictus. They've dropped the trailer. Harry is very prominent in the trailer, and he's probably very prominent in the series as well. Meghan is nowhere to be seen. It's interesting that on IMDb, Prince Harry is listed as a executive producer, and he's the only cast member. It's a bit shoddy, isn't it? Nice slap in the face for the veterans there. But this is by Archwell Productions, which of course is Harry and Meghan's company. Charity. Which is it? It's really complicated. The waters are so muddied on this one. Nobody knows whether it's a charity, company or foundation. Who can tell? If anybody is remotely interested, it is premiering on the 30th of August, which is a day before the 26th anniversary of Diana's death. Monetizing. But today's video isn't really about that. It is and it isn't. It is about the Invictus Games, but it isn't about Heart of the Invictus. It is about Meghan Markle and, by proxy, the stupid half-wit husband. Oh, that was a bit mean, wasn't it? Oh well. But despite all the swirling divorce rumours, marriage troubles, trouble in paradise, it seems they're putting on a united front, and it was announced that they will both be attending the Invictus Games, where it's being held in Dusseldorf in September. Now, this is nothing new. She's gone there before. You know, she did it last year in the Netherlands, where she reportedly wore a staggering $500,000 worth of clothes. That's quite something, isn't it? But of course, that's all being rerouted through Archwell and their expenses. But of course, her being there isn't really a major issue. She's supporting her husband. But what has got people caught in a twist is the fact that she will host part of the games. Apparently they will host the final show together. And that's got quite a lot of people up in arms because they say that she's got no business being there because it's Harry's baby. And in fact, it was the royal family's baby. They actually set it up for him and then he kind of took over and ran with it. But before I get into the juicy details, the trailer's not doing very well on Netflix YouTube channel. As of today, which it is 10:30 on Friday, this is where the likes and dislikes stand. It's been up for one day. The likes are 2,000 and the dislikes are 8.8 thousand. And it's been viewed 85,000 times. Ouch! Anyway, I digress. Apparently, Harry will be giving a speech at the event running from the 9th to the 16th of September, while Meghan moderates the closing ceremony. Moderates? Bit weird. But here's where it gets interesting. Apparently, Meghan, according to one publication, doesn't really want to go, but she's doing it for Harry. She doesn't want to open herself up to scrutiny. But an insider has commented to this publication that they have a whole comeback plan and PR strategy, which is geared around seeming more down to earth and approachable. Okay, right, moving on. But obviously, that's not happening for this trip. Harry's fine with anything Meghan asks for. He's just so relieved that she's finally coming out of her shell. When has Meghan Markle ever been in her shell? That's quite laughable to even suggest that she's shy, because she's not. She's not shy at all. Anyway, the insider continues. He'll do anything to make her happy, including making sure her list of demands is met. He figures the least he can do is make it as easy as possible for her. He can't stop people from staring or analysing and judging her, but he can at least make sure she's comfortable in every other way. He's been clear that his priority is making sure Meghan's happy, and it's only right she gets to travel in style. People are rolling their eyes at all the demands, but no one is shocked that Harry is bending over backwards to make sure they're all checked off. He is extremely protective of Meghan at the best of times, but especially now as she steps back into the public eye for him. I mean, come on. What absolute drivel. She's leaving the solitude of her Montecito mansion for her husband. No, she's not. She's doing it for PR. She's doing it for publicity because she loves it. Meghan Markle and Shy do not go in the same bracket one bit. The publication continues that with her popularity nosediving and Meghan avoiding public appearances, we're told the former TV star is keen to ensure this trip goes exactly to plan, and she's laying down a set of rules for Harry and their team that would make any A-list diva blush. Meghan has some demands for the visit, and some of them will be up there with the likes of Jennifer Lopez and Cher, says an insider close to the former actress. Her meals and snacks have all been planned out and are very specific. She also has requests for a certain air temperature, particular linens and decor for the hotel, and needs a chauffeur-driven limo everywhere. And of course, she and Harry are still debating whether or not to fly private. You name it, Meghan's fussing over it. Wow, if that's true, that's quite something, isn't it? Like they said, it puts her up there with the likes of Mariah Carey and Jennifer Lopez, who are well known to be divas with regards to their riders. I wonder who's paying for this. You know, it puts the word charity into question, really, doesn't it? It's funny because this is apparently Harry's baby, not Meghan's. Who's paying for all this? I'll say it again, who's paying for it? Is Netflix paying for this? Or is the Invictus Games paying for this? I'd really like to know. Also an interesting question. Do you think they're being paid appearance fees? Do you think that they're getting a fee to stand up on stage, as well as expenses? Because you know they will be charging expenses, whether they're charging it via Archwell Productions and then feeding it back to Netflix with their big megabucks deal, or whether or not it's actually Invictus Games that are paying for this. It's funny that the veterans seem to have been completely forgotten in all of this. You know, I think it's a really admirable event, and it does so much good for the veterans that take part and that support it, and it shows that anything is possible. But the connection between Harry and Meghan especially is toxic. The views of the trailer just goes to note this. I really hope her demands aren't met. And if they aren't met, I hope that Harry has to put his hand in his pocket and cough up himself. Because if you want to do things like that, if you want to make demands and stay in lavish hotels and have your transport paid and blah, 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 it shouldn't be up to somebody else to cough up. If you want that, you should pay for it yourself. This isn't the first time she's been accused of being a diva, but I want to ask a question to you. Has she earned the right to be a diva? And if this publication is to be believed, I'd like to point out one thing in that particular article that really has whacked me round the chops. Harry's fine with everything Meghan asks for. This again is going back to the old adage, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. I'm going to read a couple of comments on the Netflix trailer for the Heart of Invictus, and it really makes me sad that the connection with Harry and Meghan has a knock-on effect to the veterans that are actually part of this, part of the Heart of Invictus, part of the Invictus Games. They will be reading these, and can you imagine how that actually affects them with the connection between Harry and Meghan? These are just a few of the top comments. I hope he doesn't brag again about how many people he killed while serving in the army. Netflix should be ashamed of themselves for supporting has-been and never was. Cheers to the disabled veterans. Another one said the Wounded Warrior program in America is highly respected and absolutely dedicated to assisting those who gave so much. No other organisation, affiliations or representatives profit from the funds that are raised by them. Much time and effort spent by many dedicated people to go into the running of this organisation. And that's the thing that I have focused on in this video. I've asked, whose benefit? Are they being paid? Are they getting any money for this? Are they profiting at all? Here's another comment. Much respect to the veterans. I'm incredibly proud of them. Unfortunately, I've had to downvote due to the involvement of the two grifters. Another one said the veterans deserve all respect. Harry deserves none. Time has come for the veterans to claim the games as their own entirely and remove Harry from any influence. And finally, the last one I'm going to read out is the Invictus Games needs to find a new face. Find someone who is a compassionate and decent human being. Find somebody who is honourable. Find somebody who understands serving others rather than oneself. The veterans deserve more than Hank and his wife as representatives. Hank is the sort of person who doesn't hesitate to lie and malign others. He engaged in months of elder abuse directed towards his grandfather, Prince Philip, as he became ill and was dying. He engaged in months of elder abuse directed towards his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth, while her husband lay dying and while she herself was dying from terminal cancer. He attacked Philip and Elizabeth's lifelong legacy of royal service. He sat and smirked while his wife disrespected and mocked his grandmother with a curtsy demonstration. He refused to go and see his grandmother before she died. What he and his wife have done is unforgivable. I agree. Couldn't have put it better myself. So do you agree that Harry still should be part of the Invictus Games? Do you think that this is altruistic? Or do you think there is, as always, a monetary aspect to whatever they do? And secondly, what do you think about the claims that Meghan Markle is making unreasonable demands? Do you think that's believable, or do you think that is just another slight in trying to damage her character? As always, I'd love to know your thoughts. But before I go, I have 2 super thanks. So thank you, Diane Ingham, and thank you, Diane with a Union Jack flag. Your support means the world to me. As always, let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.